Hey traders, Rick here with Hit Run Candlesticks. How are you? Hey, this is Sunday, August 10, 2025, and I thought I'd put a video out for a few stocks that I will be looking at this week, okay? So before we get started, a couple things I want to remind everybody is we are changing our pre-market charts and targets live. This is open to the public. It will be starting on Wednesday the 13th. Our start time will be 7:30 a.m. Eastern, so make sure you write that down. Right now, Monday and Tuesday will be at the normal time, 8:45 Eastern, but we're moving ahead a little bit. 7:30 Eastern on Wednesday, August 13th. That's when we're going to start. Okay. Another thing, hey, is if you see us on social media, like Facebook, X, YouTube, or anything, please give us a thumbs up. Post something, ask questions. When you ask the questions, we've got a pretty good team, and we'll see about getting those questions answered. Also, I'll try to put them in the videos to answer those questions as well. All right. So let's get started. Let's take a look at this. So here's a SPY. Let me get my pencil here. And there we go. So let me go to the weekly chart. Overall, in the weekly chart, you can clearly see that this market remained bullish without a blimp, okay? So here's what I'm looking at. Price, even though, we have this ugly candlestick over here, which is, you're going to have those. You just are. But it didn't break trend. So if you'll notice, price stayed above the T-line, T-line stayed above the trend indicator. This is something we share with our members every single day. We have a beautiful trend, right? Well, on the daily, that trend got a little wacko. Now, what I mean is, see where price is? Let's get this other pencil. Here you go. Price closed below the T-line. We also closed another day below the T-line. And here we drop down. Now, the T-line did stay above the trend indicator, but trend and price are king. They weren't exactly agreeing with each other. Price was trying to drive the trend down, but couldn't do it. Now, the bulls have brought us back up, and they've done a pretty darn good job. Now, price is back above the T-line. T-line is above the trend indicator. This is what I use for my trading trend, and it's absolutely fantastic, okay? So now we have not broken out yet, but what I'm going to do is anticipate that. To me, it looks like the bulls are taking over. It looks like the bulls are doing a pretty good job. So I'm going to give it to them. My next target to the upside on the SPY is going to be in the neighborhood of 242, 243 is what I'm looking at. Now let's go look at the Qs. If we take a look at the Qs, well, we broke out. Everything I said about the SPY, the same thing, ditto on the Qs, except for we have broken out and we closed up here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little consolidation or a little rest, but hey, that's what charts do, right? And to prove that to ourselves, just go back a little bit. And when you see a rally, you see a pullback. There's a little one candle rally, pullback, little rally, pullback, up, down, up, down. That's what charts do. So we've been up pretty good here. Watch for the rest. Still looking forward to go higher. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking that the bulls might take a little charge here. Now let's take a look at T2123 because this is where things get crazy for me. T2123, this is my favorite indicator. It comes on TC2000, and I just, outside of price action, moving averages, some lines that I draw on the chart, this is my number one indicator right here. It has not given me a bullish indication yet. In fact, by following this is telling me to back off, maybe not go short, but don't get carried away. Unfortunately, the price action, the trend is just getting the best of it. So the way we closed Friday, there is that possibility that we end up gapping up Monday And that would put that trend back in some pretty good, pretty good momentum there when we get this T2123 indicator rolling to the upside. So again, I'm looking to be a little bit more bullish come Monday. But as always, a little bit cautious as well, okay? All right, hey, I've got some charts to take a look at. The ones we're going to look at is Tesla, PLTR, SOUN, MU, and Meta, okay? So hang with me here. Let's take a look at that Tesla. So Tesla, a lot of folks in the room were checking this out Friday, Thursday as well. Some even bought it. If we start to break out through this downtrend line right here, let me get my pen out. And there it is. We start breaking out of this downtrend line, or basically breaking out of Friday's candle, then I may be a buyer here, which, I might be a buyer here. Here's the 50% retracement. And then if we move up, here's the next target up here around 380 that I'll be looking for. Now, my plans are in my large account to buy some Tesla. But in my smaller account, Tesla's expensive. And if you have a small account, well, you might not be able to trade Tesla in a small account. So the way to get around that is take a look at TSLL. TSLL is the single stock ETF for Tesla. And it's just a way, some of you already know that, it's a way to trade Tesla, but at a chart that's maybe more affordable for you, like in the $12 range, okay? So here we are moving up on this TSLL. We closed over the 50-period moving average. Now, there is definitely a few things we need to watch out for here. We need to get through this top right in there. We need to get through this top here. We need to take out this top here, which would be the 200-period moving average. So there are traders that will wait till it moves up. There's traders that's going to wait till it gets all over all those numbers there. I look at this, and if we draw a line from the top down to the second high and just let the rest go, you can see we've broken out of that downtrend there. So we may see a little bumpiness on the way up, but right now there's my targets at 18, and 2250 is our 50% retracement. So that will be my big target right there. No guarantees it's going to get there, but that certainly is what I'm going to shoot for up in that area. And that will be in the neighborhood of 78%. Can you believe that? Wow, that's a ton of money. Even if you got half of that, it would be fantastic. All right, let's we'll do Meta because that's similar. Here's Meta. Look, not everybody can trade Meta at $800. Now my larger, or almost 8. In my larger account, yeah, I could trade that, and I just might. Here we have a nice bounce gap right at the 50-period moving average. We've pulled back into what we call a pullback opportunity and a 3/8 trap. So here's our pullback. We're in that bullish 3/8 trap right now. Price is above the T-line. T-line is above the trend indicator. Our trading trend is bullish. Our target, our big target, will be that 50% retracement up there. Let's duplicate this and we'll put another one in. There we go. The target that we really want to go after will be between 8 and 810. What is that? About 803, 804 up there at that 50% retracement. But first, we do need to get through these highs, and then we'll need to get through 793.50 in that area. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Now, for those that want to trade Meta, but you can't trade Meta, take a look at FBL. FBL. Again, this is the single stock ETF for Meta. And you can see it's a very similar chart. Absolutely similar here. So let's, here's what I'm going to do. Here's our run off that 50-period moving average with a gap. Here's our pullback into that 3/8 trap, and we call this a pullback opportunity. What a pullback opportunity is when a chart is trending, when it's bullish, when it's doing everything right, and it just simply pulls back and offers an entry to you. And that's the way I see this Meta and FBL. Okay, so here's a pullback, 3A trap. That's where we like, one of the areas we like to buy. So I'll be looking at buying this in the smaller account, and then my target is up here around that 52, maybe push a little bit over 52, in the neighborhood of 7, maybe 8% on that, depending where you buy it. Okay, so that was Meta. Let's take a look at PLTR. This is one I continue to hold. Doing fantastic on it. Now, please do remember that everything that goes up must come down. I mean, we went up, right? And we went down. All right? We went up and we went down, right? We can do that all through the chart. All charts do that. So what we've got is an up move. And for the most part, I'm a short-term swing trader. So I'm about buy and sell, buy and sell. Now, I've got a longer account. It's treated different. But what we're talking about right here is swing trading, okay? Charts, targets, or charts. Look for those targets. Look for those profits is what we're going to do. We're going to swing into the targets, and we're going to swing into those profits. So I'm getting very, very, very near taking some profits here, and then let it pull back for the next setup. Now, I know there's traders that might say, well, hey, why don't you just put a stop in here and keep moving your stop up? And I think that's a great idea for you. I do. But for me, because every trader is different. Every trader is different. For me, my plan, and boy, do we need to talk about a plan. My plan is to swing into profits and take those profits. Okay. So, and let's just quickly talk about a plan. Okay. It is so important. SOUN, sorry, talk and do at the same time. Just can't do it. It's very important to have a plan when you trade. And, some traders don't do that. They shoot from the hip. And hey, I used to shoot from the hip. I did. And I learned long ago that that's not the way to do it. If you really put a plan together, you'd be surprised the difference that would make. So here's what I've got for SOUN. My plan is to come up here and target the 1585 area, and that's the 50% retracement from the high down to the lows here, whatever that high is, what date, December 2024, down to these lows, April 2025. So we've got our big gap that happened Friday, and the gap held up pretty well. I'm going to look for this as a target. Now, I'm just not going to shoot this, like shoot from the hip, bang, bang, buy it. All right? I want it to set up. I like a specific chart pattern. I like a chart pattern that pulls back or rests. So pulls back to what we call a PBO, pullback buying opportunity, or a rest, just simply a little, price just kind of moves to the right and just rests a little bit. So I'm going to be looking for that and watching for that. So that will be my plan there, and we will update all members and trial members at Hit and Run Candlesticks through our app and in the trading room. So you don't have to be in the trading room to get the alerts. All you have to do is have the app. So you could be out doing what you want to do. You don't have to be tied to a computer, okay? So I'll be waiting for this. In fact, I'm going to put a little buy box in this, and that's what I would like to see. I mean, in a perfect world for me, a nice little pullback down here would be nice, but I don't know if we're going to get that. So I'll watch for that buying opportunity. I'll alert our members and our trial folks. I'll be buying this, and then we're going to be shooting for this 16 area up there. So kind of hard to say exactly what percent, but it'll be in the 10, maybe 20% range. And then we've got our next target up here at 18 that we'll be looking at, okay? Here's the last chart that I have. Now, this is a chart that I in the larger account, I had bought this short because we've got a downtrend and we were setting up for that blue ice failure, but that didn't work out. So that short's got to go away, and I'm going to push in along here, okay? We're over the 50 period moving average. We closed over the 50% retracement. I will be looking for that next target in the 120.50 area, and then up here at 123.50, somewhere in that area. It could certainly go higher, but let's just one step at a time. So right now, what I'm going to be looking for is come Monday, a little bit of a rest, pull back into this area, just let the chart, maybe it'll, what if it, look, I'm going to be looking for the rest. I want the pullback. I'm going to look for the buy. I'll place that buy, and now I've got my targets above. That's my plan. All right. It's important to set that plan up. Okay. Hey, look, that's about all the time I have today. We're at 16 minutes, and I don't want to bore anybody. Please do me a favor. Leave us a comment in social media. We'll get you answered one way or another. It might not be lickety-split right away. You might see it on YouTube. One of our team members might answer that question. So please do that. And also remember, pre-market live charts and targets to the public and to members starting Wednesday, August 13th, will start at 7:30. Try this again, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, okay? You guys all take care. Have a terrific weekend, and I look forward to seeing everybody Monday. Take care.